Hi friends, today I'm playing with, I just purchased this, as you know I love Velvet Touch, Princeton Blooms. This is a number 12, and I'm going to play a little bit with that today. I don't care for this larger brushes normally, but that's just me. They kind of hold too much paint, too much water, and I don't paint that large usually. But you know, that could just be I'm not used to that. The other thing I will tell you is I don't have any brushes that are long like this. They feel like for me they get in the way. The couple I had, I ended up chopping off, so I'll probably do that with this one. I don't know, it's just not comfortable. That's just an individual thing. You may like that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play with this. I will be using my MeiLang palette. As you know, my favorite student grade paints. Right now I have been using the 48 set because I'm playing with their metallics, but the 36 set is great too. It has all really great colors, lots of blues and greens and oranges and reds, even their browns. They've got in 36, the 36 pan set, you have a lot of great choices. I've got my two containers of water. I've been painting, so this one's a little bit pink. One to wash, one to rinse. And I am using today, because my brush is big, I'm going to be using, as you know, I love Artisto. That's, again, another favorite student grade supply that I recommend all the time, and I've used a lot, guys. And this one, although it's not 100% cotton, it is 140 pound and cold press. Has some great texture, which that's just my thing. That's just my personal choice. I love texture. This has a lot of texture, and I tend to work with a lot of water, wet on wet. So this works really great for me. All right, well, let's get started, and I'm just going to be playing here. So I already picked up some paint on my brush. I think the color I have right now is called Fresh Purple, which I love in the MeiLang set. And I'm just going to play here. This brush, I will tell you, kind of reminds me of a filbert brush. It's a little bit thicker, but I kind of get that feeling with it. Just what I'm kind of picking up. And some of the things I love about a filbert brush is you can make these dabs like this in between your flowers, and then you can also, it's in the perfect shape of a petal, so you can make these beautiful petals as well. And I mean, I'll tell you one thing I do love about a filbert brush is, and they're not calling this a filbert brush, they're referring to it as the Bloom's brush, but that's what it reminds me of, is it almost is the shape of a petal. So it's almost making that petal shape for you. So that's one thing I always do love when I paint with a filbert brush. It kind of paints itself. So I'm just going to be turning and twisting and create a couple different flowers here, and let's see what we get. And I would, you know, just invite you to try and play yourself and see what you think, because, you know, what's comfortable for me may be completely different than for you. You may really like the long brush. You may really like a larger brush. And that's what's great about trying all these brushes and kind of finding what's fun for you and what you enjoy. So I'm just going to pick up a little paint here. There we go. So right away, you know, again, some of the things I thought might come up for me is I feel like I can't quite get those little highlights. Now that may just be because I'm painting small, for sure, but I do like the shape. So we'll just keep going here. And again, I'm just twisting, turning, patting, dabbing. I'm kind of doing it all and just seeing what shapes are playing out here. Now let's see about getting, let's do this. Let's see about getting a stem or a thin line. Normally these filbert brushes do pretty good. Yeah, so this does pretty good with that. It's allowing a thin line, and again, these filbert brushes, they do really well with creating leaves. They've got a great leaf shape. So that's always kind of fun and makes it easy. I'm gonna wash and rinse my brush a bit. I don't mind if the green and the red kind of mix up because I like having some of the leaf color and the petal color mixed together. I think that's kind of pretty. As you can see, I'm kind of twisting, turning my brush. Maybe go in, add a few more in there. Let's maybe do a little bud. Opening up, something like that. Maybe another one up here. There we go. So it is a fun brush. I will definitely use it. I'll definitely be trimming it because that just, I don't know why, that's just me. It drives me nuts having this huge long brush laying out there. As well, I have my light here and it kind of tends to get in my way. And I always thought of, I know in high school, I always thought of these long brushes reminded me more of the brushes that a, like an oil painter used. So that's what that always reminded me of. Let's just add in, let's see, let's take a little bit of blue and add in some blue leaves too with our green. I think that's kind of pretty. There we go. So very light touch, and you can get that nice thin line. I do like the snappiness of this brush. I think that's nice. That's always kind of my thing. I like the stiffer bristles and brushes. There we go. And I do like, you can use, you know, you kind of have some variation on how you can use this brush, either sideways or flat. That's kind of nice. Let's go in and create just some darker values here. Kind of some little fluffies, maybe sticking out of the petals like that. Lighten my value and maybe do another one right here. So again, I'm just kind of turning, twisting, playing with my brush. I tend to go back in and add darker highlights here and there. That's my thing. As you know, I love working with layers and values. There we go. So I think I'm pretty much done with that. The only other thing I think I would maybe do is take my regular 8 Princeton brush and go in the center with a little bit of cad yellow and just create some little tiny centers. Those are buds, so they really don't have center showing, but something like that. Maybe go in with a darker green, create some leaves that are more in the forefront. There we go. So there you go. That's a little bit of play. I know one of you asked me about this Bloom's brush, and I think it's a great brush. Just for me personally, it's a little big. I don't usually use this big of a brush. That would be my only thing, and that's just a personal thing. That isn't anything on the brush. I love Princeton brushes. I love the Velvet Touch. I will share my link. I just bought this, and I'll share my link for that. I also am going to show in the description maybe my playlist for brush strokes, and you can kind of play with this. I'll put in there as well my Filbert brush strokes tutorial, because I think it's very similar. And I think that's it. I will look on here. If you have any questions or you want to add anything, just let me know. I'll respond back. And most of all, just have fun, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you soon.